Man, this sucks. Nishinoya-senpai?
Hinata blinked at his senior, wondering just why the star libero of the Karasuna volleyball team was laying down on the floor with his knees tucked into his chest, his expression screaming of depression.
I want somebody.
Nishinoya whined as the rest of the team sighed, as he hit the floor with balled fists like a child. Bokuto, seeing the commotion, came over and put a hand seriously on his shoulder before kneeling down to meet him at eye level.
Are you lost? Do you need me to find your mom?
As the teams among the camps stifled their laughter into their fists, Nishinoya gained an irk mark at the teasing ace of Fukurodani, as said man keeled over in laughter.
Hey, they're coming! That'll lift your spirits, Nishinoya-senpai!
Yamaguchi exclaimed as the libero helped himself to his feet, glaring daggers at his still giggling teammates.
Let's watch them play a set. Yeah?
As the boys all returned to the stands to watch the other teams compete, Nishinoya looked among them with a bored stare. Perhaps after being near Kyoko this whole time, and it for sure would never happen. Most people didn't hold the same effect on him. Even if they did, none really responded to his advances or showed any interest.
Noya?
Sugawara put a hand on his shoulder, giving him a nervous grin.
I can see your depression cloud getting bigger. Huh? No way. I don't need anybody. Volleyball is life. Right, Hinata? Senpai, you're too cool!
His orange-haired Kohai flashed him 2 large thumbs up as Nishinoya laughed, a little too loudly. The 2 opposing teams from Fukurodani and Nakoma made their way onto the courts with no problem.
Whoa, who is that?
Tanaka's eyes widened a little.
They go to Fukurodani. They're the libero for the team.
Akashi replied evenly as Bokuto sniffed.
They've also rejected Bokuto on numerous occasions.
They're just blind to how awesome I am. It's fine.
You made your way onto the court with a small smile, blushing as the more louder boys on the Fukurodani team began to cheer your name specifically, tucking your hair back as your team prepared for the practice match.
They're pretty short.
Daichi noted as Tanaka cackled, clapping Noya on the back.
Probably shorter than Noya.
Nishinoya didn't reply as his eyes locked on your figure, his heart gaining an almost too steady rhythm as you got into position. Damn, were you pretty. That wasn't what took him off guard, though. You deflected the balls the opposing team hit to the floor as if it were nothing, jumping up to do a cute little cheer every time you succeeded. You smiled at your teammates lovingly through the familial bond you shared with them.
Noya, you're staring.
Asahi grinned down at his friend as Nishinoya felt the heat rise to his cheeks.
Whatever.
Nishinoya looked back to your figure to see the end of the match had commenced, Fukurodani beating Nakoma with a gap of 6 points. His eyes locked with yours as your friend on the team was whispering something in your ear, a slight blush forming on your cheeks as you looked away quickly.
Uh-oh, looks like they got you!
Tanaka cackled even louder as Nishinoya sunk back in his seat, feeling embarrassed.
No, they just play really good. That's all. Traveler, I saved you a seat!
No thanks, you replied flatly to Bokuto as the ace sunk down in his seat, sighing dejectedly as Akashi coughed into his fist to hide his laughter. It wasn't like you had anything personal against Bokuto. It was just the fact you would rather reject him outright instead of stringing him along with false hope. You didn't like him the same way he did you. That's all it was. Plus, you could never tell if he was serious or not. You had walked into the cafeteria in the standard white shirt and dark shorts, blanching as your team waved you over to their already overcrowded table. You shook your head no with a small smile, motioning that you would find somewhere else to sit. In a flash, the table to your right's members all seemed to scatter at the same time, some dragging others as you amusedly watched a dark-haired boy drag along the orange spunky-looking kid, telling him to take a hint as one lone person remained at the table. Unsurprised, you plopped your tray in front of the boy who was staring at you throughout your match, silently giving approval to the amount of effort his teammates had given to lead to this situation as they stuffed themselves into bordering tables.
Huh? Where did everyone go?
The boy across from you had unique hair. You noted silently as you giggled at the fact that he was too engrossed in his food to notice the situation his teammates had left him in. When he saw you taking apart your chopsticks, you swore you could practically see the smoke puff out from his head. "You're Nishinoya, right? I heard you have a pretty good title for yourself back in Miyagi." You made conversation, smiling warmly at the now nervous boy in front of you.
Yeah. You played really well today. Your defense tactics are super good.
This startled you. You knew for a fact that Bokuto and the boys on the Fukuradani team liked you primarily for your appearance, but not once had any of them complimented your playing style. Thank you. You shyly put your chopsticks in your mouth, a blush forming on your features at the foreign feeling. From another table, Akashi held a hyperactive Bokuto in place, who was practically fuming.
What the hell is that atmosphere?
Bokuto, please eat your food. And be quiet.
The members of the Fukuradani chuckled to themselves as Bokuto sat down immediately, almost like a pet.
Then, I'll see you tomorrow. Traveler?
Tomorrow it is, Noya, you replied happily, smiling at the fact that he spoke your name without much hesitation. You watched him dart away, smiling to yourself, until you suddenly noticed that he had put his dessert on your tray, making you blush slightly as you unwrapped the pudding. The rest of the camp went by in a breeze, and you happily met for dinner every night to eat with Nishinoya as you two formed a more comfortable friendship with one another. Noya giving you the cheesiest pickup lines to ever exist as you laughed so hard your stomach hurt. Naturally, both of your teams teased you relentlessly, and when you two were together during practice breaks, it was obvious to anyone that Nishinoya had fallen for you. Hard. The real question was, how did you feel about him?
The last day of training camp is tomorrow. I go back to Miyagi in one day.
You both laid in the soft grass past curfew, Nishinoya successfully sneaking you out of the dorms with ease, and a signal to be quiet pressed to his playful grin.
Don't worry, you can take me sightseeing when we meet at Nationals.
Noya?
I'm, not sad at all to go. Not at all.
Nishi...
Why would you even say something like that? Me? Sad? Ha!
You! You had sat up and pressed a hand to his blabbering mouth, watching as his eyes slowly became more saddened. Without hesitation, you pressed your lips against the hand that covered his mouth, leaving the unsuspecting boy in shock before pulling back. Just Hold me for a while, okay? You laid against his chest, listening to his thumping heartbeat. You might not be sad, but I am. You looked up from your position, laying down on him, tracing patterns into his shirt. Anybody would be sad to see the person they like leave.
You like me?
Yes, dummy. Without a second beat of silence, Noya carefully lifted you off of him before hurling himself to his feet, punching the air excitedly.
You like me!
You laughed, shushing him to be quiet until he knelt down before you, tilting your chin to meet his lips as he kissed you passionately. Your head spun as you felt something cold and metal being rested against the skin of your neck.
This is a brand,
he said softly when he pulled away, admiring the glint of the necklace in the moonlight.
You're mine, traveler.
This is why you disappeared that one practice? Oh. You laughed, touching the chain around your neck. He nodded, his eyes looking more confident than you had ever seen them before he reached out to hold a strand of your hair, kissing it.
Please let me cherish you.
I would be honored. You? He tackled you into the soft grass afterwards. Joy lit up in both of your hearts simultaneously as you hugged him tightly back.
What kind of Libero love shit is this?
Tsukishima blinked in surprise as Yamaguchi swatted his arm. The day Karasuna had to take its leave back to Miyagi arrived, and you and your newly minted boyfriend had broken the news rather sheepishly.
Noya!
Tanaka and Asahi leaned on each other for support, tears in their eyes.
We're so happy! Senpai!
Kakayama held a running Hinata by the collar, sighing about how he was surrounded by idiots.
Weren't you just saying you didn't eat?
Daichi's hand covered Suga's mouth without hesitation, grinning at his Libero who wasn't letting anybody ruin his over-the-moon feeling.
Be careful, shorty,
Bokuto mentioned, slinging an arm around your shoulder as you naturally swatted it off.
If you don't make it to nationals, I'm gonna steal Traveler away.
Noya's eyes glinted at the challenge before pulling on your wrist to make you fall into his chest, looking fearlessly into Bokuto's smirk.
I'd like to see you try.
When all goodbyes were said, the Karasuna team left you and Noya outside the bus, your eyes welling up with tears as the realization of the dreaded day settled in.
Hey, none of that.
You laughed through your tears as Noya swiped them away, grinning down at you.
I'll call every night, and I'll be back before you know it.
Promise?
Promise. And you won't go to Bokuto because you're lonely, and I'm not there to fill the empty void in your heart, right?
Ah, that one's hard to promise, you said flatly, sarcasm dripping from your tone before Noya tucked a strand of your hair behind your ear, gazing at you as if he was trying to commit your face to memory.
Don't miss me too much now.
With that, his mouth captured yours in a loving kiss before he pulled away, climbing his bus without looking back. You laughed a little at his overdramatic crying form in the window as Suga gave you a thumbs up, signaling his teammates were going to take care of him. You gave him a small wave as the bus pulled out of the parking lot, reaching up to grip the chain around your neck. See you soon.